big part of being in business, in the financial planning business, is how do you transition to the next generation. So what happens when one of your clients passes on, and where do their assets go, who manages those things. And so always you're looking for ways to become introduced to that next generation. And the Medallion has really been that strong bridge that says, not only do I know who you are, not only do I recognize that you're my client's child, but they meant something to me, and I want to give you a remembrance so that every time you pull it out, you'll have that pleasant memory of your folks, your parents, what that meant to you. And for me, it just cements that relationship. It takes that relationship to the next level. So it's now that I care. So for me, it's taken it to the next level of relationship, which is faith. So we know a lot of people, we smile a lot of people, we say hi to a lot of people, but sharing our faith and talking about what's really, really important to us is really that next level of relationship. The Medallion opens that conversation. The most recent one, I just had a client, they actually lost their father and their mother. Mother died on March 10th, dad died on May 29th. Presented medallions to both of the daughters when I met with them. Second meeting after their parents had died. So we're starting to clean up the paperwork, we're starting to go through things. The oldest daughter literally was paralyzed, couldn't say a thing. She just stood there and kept fumbling the medallion in her hands and just didn't break down, but was right there. Just really, it was really a neat moment, because I know what she did with it. I know she put it in her purse. I know she's going to see it every time she rumbles through her change, and that medallion's going to be there, and it's going to mean something to her. It was really, really neat. The second lady was really, really interesting, because she immediately said she loved it, and then didn't know what to do with it, and kind of set it aside, and her husband picked it up, and I actually made a note to bring one for him, because obviously the parents meant something for him, being his in-laws. And he kept holding it in his hand and reading the prayer and kind of going through the hope message, and it was just really neat. So obviously it just opened that conversation for what's next. You know, obviously you care about us, not just about our money, and so what do we do next? And it just flowed naturally from there. So it's really a neat moment. What I stress is where you put the medallion. I mean, you can't just put it on a shelf and forget about it. You want to put it somewhere where you see it and you get the trigger again as to why you received it, hopefully who you received it from, but ultimately what it means. And then it's a reminder of the good of, for me, someone that's no longer here. I guess it's not the only way to use the medallion, but for me it's a reminder that someone that was very near and dear to me is no longer here. It opened the dialogue immediately when you give the medallion, and it's, why are you doing this now? Well, it's because this person was important to me. Well, that's interesting, and it's really, again, it just immediately goes to a deeper level of relationship, because they can't believe you're even thinking enough to bring it up, even with the delay in time. A client of mine, Marlene, had lost her husband, and I'd given her a medallion, and she was just so immediately thankful that I even thought about it, that I even went through it, and it was kind of like, where do you go next? We were almost speechless in what we wanted to say, and she said, well, I want to hug. And so we hug, and you get this, I don't know, the hug of the long lost grandparent, or the you know, someone you just haven't seen in a long, long time. That deep, you know, wrap your arms around hug that just takes you to a whole. I get goosebumps telling the story. That takes you to a whole nother level. You know, that it just like, boy, that really, you know, sometimes you hit the home run, and that was a home run. You know, and you just knew it immediately because of the reaction they got, the hug you received. That was way beyond what you would expect. And so you just know your relationship's going to another level. And it's just, it's an awesome feeling. It's what we're doing in business. We're in the business to help people. And so you can't help anyone that doesn't trust you. And so you're always working on ways to build that trust and take the trust to the next level.